Public Library. Welcome to Kids in the Kitchen. Today we're going to make Greek yogurt banana bread. So this is a pretty healthy recipe again. It involves bananas, eggs, flour, baking soda, salt, a little bit of brown sugar, a little bit of maple syrup, a little bit of yogurt, and a few chocolate chips. All right, let's get started. Before we begin, remember there's a few things you need to do. Make sure your hands are washed, your work surfaces are clean, and if you have long hair, can you please pull it back? Thank you. All right, let's get going. The first thing we're going to do is mix up our dry ingredients. We're going to begin by adding our flour first. We need 1.5 cups of white flour, so I just fill it up. I always kind of do it over the bowl in case some falls out. Then you're going to level it off. You can level it off with pretty much anything. I'm just using a knife. Dump it in. I need another 1/2 cup. Level it off. Level off means to make it even on the top. Dump it in. Next we're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda. So that's what this is. This is just from my cupboard. It says baking soda. 1.5 teaspoons. So again, I load it up. I take my knife. I level it off. In it goes. That was 1 teaspoon. And this is 1/2 teaspoon. Dump it in. Perfect. And next we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And I'm using sea salt. So I'm taking that 1/2 teaspoon, loading it up, taking my knife, leveling it off. My sea salt's a little bit damp. Dump it in. Okay. Very good. Now we'll give it a good stir. So we're mixing up our flour, our baking soda, and our salt. Very good. Now we're going to set that aside, and we're going to mix up our wet ingredients. And we're going to start with 1 cup of bananas. So usually it's like 2 bananas, but I have sometimes found that if the bananas are bigger, you don't need 2. So I think today I'll smash them, and then I'll measure it out. There's 1 banana. And you want your bananas to be pretty ripe. Even if they have spots on them, like little black spots, that works too. I think I'm going to put in 1.5 to start. And I'm using a potato masher to mash up my bananas, to make them real fine. You could use a fork, you know, whatever works for you. I just like this. My masher is very, very old. Pretty good. I think I'm going to need the other banana. So my bananas aren't too big. All right. That on the side. Next, we're going to add 2 eggs to a bowl and lightly beat them up. So, 2 eggs here. Put it on the side, drop it in. The other one on the side, drop it in. Okay, now we're going to whip them up a little bit with a fork. Just like that. Now we're going to add our banana. So I'm just going to pour it. I need 1 cup of banana. So I'm going to just pour it in here until it gets to a cup. And I would say those 2 bananas were just perfect. to add our Greek yogurt to this. And we're going to add a half a cup of Greek yogurt. I'm just using just a plain Greek yogurt. Nothing special about it. A half a cup. Very good. Now you can use your knife to smooth it off. You can use your spoon, however you want to do it. So I'm adding that to the egg mixture. And I like to use a fork for this because it kind of breaks everything up. Blends in the yogurt. Let's move that out of the way. And before I do that, I'm going to add the maple syrup. The maple syrup, I'm adding 1/4 cup. This is 1/4 cup. Now, if you do not want it really sweet, you could leave out the brown sugar if you wanted to, but I'm going to add it in today. All right, and this is 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Also at the end, I'm going to add, it doesn't say it, but I'm going to add half a cup of chocolate chips. I like little mini chocolate chips. So if you're adding the chocolate chips too, you would not need to add the brown sugar if you don't want to. I am today, but you would not need to. All right, so let's say we're going to do this 10 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, very good. Alrighty, now we're ready to add our wet ingredients to our dry ingredients. So I'll bring our dry ingredients over, dump our wet in, our banana, our maple syrup, our eggs. I like to scrape the bowl to make sure I've gotten everything. Very good. Looks great. All right, let's stir it. Now, after we have this all stirred up, let's count to 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, this looks perfect. Now the last thing I'm going to add in are my chocolate chips, a half a cup of chocolate chips. I'm going to gently stir them in. You might want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. I'm going to use a loaf pan like this, just a regular loaf pan. I like to spray it to make sure that my bread will come out all right. So you can also line the bottom with parchment paper if you wanted to. This pan does not need it. Things come out really easy with this particular pan. You could also make these if you wanted to. You could also make this bread in a bun pan or small little bun pans. There's different kinds of pans that they have out there. That'll work too. So now I'm going to dump it in. So I'm going to use my spatula because I think for me that's easier. And then I'll be able to scrape the bowl at the end. So we're going to put this, like I said, in a 350 degree oven. For about 35 to 40 minutes. You want it to be brown on the top. You want, if you put a toothpick in it that it comes out clean. So I have my oven preheating. All right, looks good. All right, I'm going to put it in the oven and I'll see you in 40 minutes. Welcome back. Your Greek yogurt banana bread is done. It's all baked. So after you get it out of the oven, I took mine out after about 40 minutes, let it cool for 10 minutes, and then take it out of the pan, and then let it cool a little while longer before you cut it. But I'm going to cut a piece just for you. Oh, doesn't that look good? Just like that. Enjoy your banana bread. Have the best day.